Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a place to call home. This is the quick play demo for the Legacy of Cthulhu, an RPG from Mindsvision and 101 Games Brazil, which is based in a post-apocalyptic world where Cthulhu and the other evil denizens have been released. And we are trying to survive in this world. Now, the game is currently on, at the time of recording, Game Found for crowdfunding. But this is a quick play demo which you can download for free and try to get an idea what the game's all about. This is part two. In part one, we went through what the game is. We went over the basic rules. We created a character we have here. Frank the Fireman. We created our own character. In the game, in the PDF, the freebie, you do actually get a couple of pre-generated characters. But we made a character to show you how easy it was, and we went through the introductory scenario, which brings us to where we're going to start today. This is the map which we are using for the demo, for the free demo. This is basically wasteland and sort of corrupted and destroyed forest. And this is a small town which I've called Peaksville. This area here is the outskirts of the town, including the town square. And then up here, where we're going to start, is where we have our shelter, an area of the town that has this old hospital. Now, in this video, in part two, what we're going to do is show you the normal way of playing one of these 101 Games products. And this is very similar to the way we play the Vampire Alone in the Darkness, which I did feature on my channel a while back. Link up here. So the introductory scenario is not exactly the way we normally play. It's there to kind of bring us into the game, let us have a taste of what's going on. But in the demo rules, there is also the basic game. But of course, because it's demo, it is simplified, cut down. A lot of it is missing that's going to be in the full game. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be playing the game as it is normally played. Give me 1 second, we'll set everything up and we will get on with the game. Right, let us continue. Part two. We're going to be using the more standard procedure of playing these games. But again, as a demo, it does have less content, less tables, smaller tables, less encounters, less actions, things like that. It is a demo set. Also, in advance, I do apologize for any shine or reflection. I do have this game in one of these folders that has the plastic pockets, so I do apologize in advance for any shininess. Shouldn't be too bad, I hope. Okay, what have I done since part one? Well, I have updated Frank's character sheet. We now have information regarding the shelter here. It's an old hospital. The location is in the wreckage there, where Frank is currently standing. As well as updating the character sheet for Frank, I also created all the survivors. Now, this is just a quick sort of temporary sort of survivor sheet that I quickly drew up on the computer. But I've basically rolled on, let's find the page here. So I basically rolled on the survivors sort of NPC box, where if you encounter survivors in your travels, this is where you roll to see who they are. I basically did the same thing for each survivor in my shelter, so I've got 10 in total. And after the doctor that we found in the last video, the first guy that I actually rolled up, I rolled a 1. He's a coward. He flees when possible. So, of course, I named him Carter Burke. If you know, you know. But I've got a range of different guys. I've got some melee. I've got some sort of firearm guys, some melee guys. I've got a couple of strong guys who have higher hit points. And again, I just came up with random names using a generator online. So we've got our survivor sheets. We've got our character sheet. And we are ready to go. So this was the scenario we did last time. Now, it is currently midday on the first day. We've just succeeded in defeating the crazed cultist, the priest, and freeing all the prisoners from the hospital. Now, I've still got the afternoon to play with. I think going out at night, probably not a good idea, but I still have some time to kill before the sun sets. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go and play the game as it's normally played to spend the rest of the day. So it is currently 12 o'clock. Let's say getting everybody to the hospital, sorting everything out. Maybe that takes another 1 hour. So we're going to continue on the next page. And again, you can do this as a journaling sort of game, a journaling RPG, or you can just use it to make notes. I'm kind of doing it somewhere in the middle. Okay, so we've done that. So it's still the same day, but it's now, let's say it's 1 o'clock. So it's 1300 hours. Okay. What are we going to do? You're not going to be able to see it now, are you? I've got to do that. Otherwise you can't see it. Never mind, I'll move the journal. I'll move the journal to the side slightly. You can still see it's there. Right. The standard sequence of play is first move or decide to move. In moving from one hex to another hex. Traveling basically takes 1 hour by foot to get to an adjacent hex, half an hour by vehicle. At the moment, I'm assuming that I don't have any vehicles, and to be honest, it's probably not the best idea to be driving around if there are cultists and psychos roaming the streets. So that's the first thing you do. You choose whether to move or not, to travel to other tiles. When you get to a new tile, you have to basically choose an action that you want to perform. So these can be things like hunting for food, which I'm definitely going to be doing, because currently I have no food at all, and we've got 10 total survivors, including my character. You can look for shelters, you can look for items, you can try to find characters or try to find more survivors, etc. So these are not the only actions you can do, these are just examples. Once you have completed that action, also each action has a certain time, you then have to roll to see if there's an event, if something happens. You will then complete that event, and then if you stay in the same tile, in the same hex, you have to roll to see if anybody spots you. A violent encounter. Or you can travel again, do another action, see if there's another event. That's the sequence. Move, action, event. Move, action, event. Move, action, event. That's what it does. And as you're doing all of these things, time will keep going by, and at some point you're going to think, well, maybe it's time to get back to the shelter. And then, once per night, you've got to check whether there's a horde attack. Yeah, I don't want that to happen, because if that happens, we can probably say goodbye to the shelter. Horde attacks are nasty. Now, there's nothing stopping you from adventuring or exploring during the day or the night, but I'm kind of thinking that day is probably the best choice, the safest choice. So, we are currently it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. And what are we going to do? I think I'm going to move, because initially I don't want to start getting events in the same hex as our shelter, because that could actually come back and bite us on the butt. So what I'm going to do is I am going to move. Where am I going to move? I could move here, which is the other part of town, where we have the town square. But I could also move into these wasteland hexes. Now, I am going to be starting off by looking for food. I've got to find at least 10 points or units of food if I don't want people to start getting hunger markers, which can cause problems. So that's going to be, I think, for our first excursion, I think food is going to be a thing. The shelter can produce 2 per day thanks to its water collector, but I've got to find at least another 8. I think I'm going to have possibly more chance of finding food in the wasteland. I mean, in here I'd probably expect things like rats, whatever, but maybe out here I can actually find game, deer, rabbits, wabbits and stuff. So not me, Frank the Fireman is going to move into this hex, this wasteland hex here. Traveling will take time. So travel, and that's going to take 1 hour. So it is now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. Because I'm not using a vehicle, it takes 1 hour to move per hex. Now we have to choose an action to perform. So I am going to hunt for food, which is one of the actions listed here. Again, you can create other actions, you can do other things, but you're going to have to think in terms of what test you need to make, how long it's going to take. Yep. So hunt for food, time according to tile. All right, I'll check that in a second. Make a mind survival check. In case of success, you find D10 units of food. All right, well, we can do that. So, where's Frank? Here's Frank. So it's going to be a mind survival check. My mind is 3, and I don't have survival, so I don't get the +2. I've just got that +3 to the roll. Okay, so I need to roll a 7+. What do we get? We get a 4, which means I fail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 point of willpower. Now, this using your willpower in Legacy of Cthulhu is actually a bit riskier than using your willpower in games of Vampire. The reason is because of the insanity. If your willpower goes down, it's going to be easier for you to die through insanity, because once you have the same number of insanity markers as your willpower, you're dead. So reducing your willpower basically means it's going to be easier for you to die from insanity. So it's a lot riskier to reduce your willpower in Cthulhu compared to Vampiro. Right, so I'm going to spend a point of willpower to re-roll the dice. Let's see if we do any better. I can't read that. I think that's a 7. Yep, that's a 7. So 7 plus 3 is 10. Brilliant. But we don't get any power bonus. We don't get any extra points, or we don't succeed any more than normal. Power bonus on this could possibly have got me more units, maybe. Maybe for each power bonus I get 1 extra point of food, maybe. But I didn't. I got 7 plus 3 is 10, which is what I need to succeed. And we get D10 units of food. We get... That's not enough. That's not enough. So at 2 o'clock we did our hunt for food. We succeeded, but we only got 3 units of food. Now I have put at the bottom of the character sheet a little area here for food. So I've got 3 units of food. That's not going to be enough. Combined with the food from the water collector, I know that sounds weird, I've only got enough for half my survivors, so I'm going to have to do more hunting. But we have done the action. We now have to do a check for an event before I can try hunting again. Right, I did quickly check. I did a quick pause there. You didn't notice, but I did a quick pause there. I did actually check with the sort of the prototype rules document that mindsvision did send me before the crowdfunding started. It's basically the draft document that's going to be changed a lot with the final one. But I had to check that because here it says hunt for food, time according to tile. The thing is that in the demo document, it doesn't actually give you that sort of time the time it takes per different kind of tile. So it is actually missing from this demo document. But I did look into like I say, the draft document they passed me. And hunting for food in wreckage will take 2 hours per action. And in wasteland takes 1 hour per action. So that's the numbers we need to know. So hunting for food we are in the wasteland takes 1 hour. So that brings us to 3 o'clock. So that's 1 hour, and we got 3 food plus 2 from the water collector. Okay, but now we got to check for events. So after you do an action and after you've moved and done an action, you do an event check. So in the demo document, in the demo game, you are given 2 event tables, one for wasteland tile and one for wreckage tiles. Again, they are not complete. The ones in the final book are a lot bigger than these. So we are currently in the wasteland, so we're rolling on table 4. We're going to roll a d10 to find out what happens during that hour that we are looking for food. So we're going to be rolling a d10. We get a 1. Ooh, okay. We find a shelter with d10 survivors. Now, that's actually... Is that a problem? I don't know whether it's going to be a problem or not. I don't have to bring them with me because my current shelter is full. I've got 2 dormitories, which basically means there's enough space for 10 people. I find another shelter with another D10 survivors. Now, what I could do is leave that there. I don't need to bring them with me, but I am going to have to check and see whether they are friendly, whether they're willing to help, or whether they need help. I don't think anything else here is going to give me that kind of information. I think I just need to use the Oracle to find out that information. Remember, if you watched the first video, the Oracle is a tool that we use in a lot of solo RPGs or co-op RPGs where you don't have a games master to make decisions. Essentially, you have to ask a question which has a positive and negative result, or 2 opposite results, and then rolling a d10. A 1 to 5 gives you that negative result, a 6 to 10 gives you the positive result. So what I'm going to do here at 3 o'clock, event, find a shelter. Now it says it has D10 survivors. Okay, how many survivors? 7. Well, let's hope they're friendly and they don't become some kind of enemy. Find a shelter and they have 7 survivors. All right, now let's try to get a bit of information on this shelter. So the shelter is in the wasteland. So again, in the demo rules, we are only given 2 types of shelter. There are more in the full rules. So in the wasteland, so it's a farm. I'm just going to write a few little bits of info here. It's a farm with defense 30, space of 9, and technology of 3. Okay, and there's 7 survivors. Right, now I'm going to need to find out whether they're friendly or whether they're going to be enemies. If they're going to be like a rival clan for us, it's just going to create more problems. If they turn out to be friendly, it could turn out to be a good place for trade, for assistance. If we get attacked by a horde and taken over, maybe we can go there and shelter with them. But I need to find out first of all whether they are friendly or not. And I'm probably not the best guy. I'm probably not the best guy to kind of talk to these people. Because I'm going to have to make it's going to be based on presence, and it will probably use maybe manipulation. Again, I'm looking at the skills that are here. Possibly manipulation, presence manipulation role. Well, let's find out whether they are aggressive in nature to begin with, to see whether I stand a chance of talking with them. So we're going to ask the question to the oracle as we approach the shelter, keeping distance. Do they react aggressively, or does there seem to be the potential of talking? So are they aggressive, in which case I need to run away before they shoot me? Are they aggressive? 5. No. Okay. So there is the potential of becoming friendly with these people, but that's going to require me to talk to them. Dear, oh dear. So I'll just put here, not aggressive. We are going to try and talk. So that is going to be a presence. And I think a manipulation check. Oh dear. Imagine having Frank walking up to your shelter when you're scared of everybody that's around you and everything that's around you, psychos, and up comes Frank in his stained underwear and fireman helmet. Oh no. All right, come on in, Frank. So we're going to basically introduce ourselves to the community here, this farm. We walk up to the gate. We basically introduce ourselves and try to get them to let me in. Do I want to go in? Yes, I do. So I'm going to try and talk to them to convince them that I'm no threat. I'm not a psycho wearing urinated underpants and half naked. I'm no threat. I'm no psycho. All right, so it is a presence manipulation check, of which I have no skill, and my presence is the lowest. 2. Oh dear. Or should I try the stance first? What's their stance? What would be a typical survivor's stance? 8, which is higher than mine. So already they're kind of looking down on me. But let's try. I'm going to try talking to them first and get in the door. After that, we'll start looking at stances and everything else. So I need to roll. Oh my God, I need to roll an 8 or higher. All right, let's see what we can do. No! Oh, I knew it. Oh. Yeah, they don't want to let me in. Maybe another day. Oh God, that's the worst I can get. So I think they're not aggressive. So maybe politely they tell me to go away. Maybe I can try. Let's have a think. I've got all these other survivors. I've got manipulation. So I mean, I do have some survivor. Again, I rolled up their random statistics from that NPC box. I rolled up random skills. I rolled up random items. No, I don't want to send Carter. He's the one who runs. He's the coward. Again, Carter Burke. If you know, you know. I think I do have other. Do I have anybody else? Oh yeah, I do have 2 other survivors that have manipulation. Let's have a think. I've got Sophia and I have Barrel. Maybe I can send one of those tomorrow to try. Maybe Frank will not come out tomorrow. Maybe I'll send one of the other survivors out tomorrow to talk to this place. But I think politely they tell Frank to go away. Well, we're not interested in talking to you right now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And then they close the shutters or whatever. But at least we know that there is another shelter and there are survivors nearby in this hex here. So, again, just making a note here. So, we failed that extremely badly. But, like I say, at least they're not aggressive. We still have potential there, but I don't think Frank's the right person to go and talk to them. All right, so that is the event that we rolled after we did our first hunt. Okay, after the event, if you wish to remain in the tile, roll a d10. Now, I don't have to remain in the tile. Staying here and rolling for a violent encounter is never a good thing. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to move into this tile here. It's going to take a bit more time, but that's okay. So we're going to travel to this hex here, which is another wasteland hex. So that's going to take another hour. So let me see. That would probably have taken maybe half an hour talking to those guys. And then an hour for traveling. So it's now 4:30. I need to keep in mind how long it's going to take me to get back. 1, 2. So that will be 6:30. Yeah, I can probably do one more thing maybe, but then I have to get back. Okay. So that was that. So we're going to be traveling. And then at 4:30 we get into this new hex. And I'm going to be hunting for food again. I've got no choice. I haven't got enough. So hunting for food, we are making a mind survival check. And again, it's going to take me, it's going to take me 1 hour. So that's going to take us up to 17:30. So we're hunting for food again. Let's see if we succeed. It is a mind survival. Now Frank's fairly decent at combat, but not much else. So it is a mind survival. Don't have survival. Mind is 3. I need a 7+. Yay! We did it. We found some food. Oh, hang on. How much food do we get? We're going to need... I've got 3. Water connected gives me 2. I need at least 5 if I don't want to start getting hunger markers. So we get... swine! Oh, why does my curse follow me in every game where I roll dice? In the last video, I did well. I don't think the dice gods were watching. They're back. The dice gods are back. We find 1 unit of food. That's still not enough. Succeed. 1, and it takes 1 hour. Oh no. I'm going to have to try hunting again on the way back, aren't I? All right, nuts. Oh, hazelnuts. Hey! So that was the action. We did our hunting. We've done the time. Now we have the event. Again, after every action, we need to see what happens. Now, we are still in the wasteland. So we're still rolling on table 4. What do we get? We get a 1. Another shelter? There's another. This is where everybody's run to, escaping from the priest. We find another shelter. I'm rolling so many 1s as per usual. We find another shelter. Oh dear. Not so deserted after all, this place. So we've got 3 shelters in this area. We've got, we've got the hospital here, we've got the farm here, and we've got another farm here. Right, how many survivors in this place? D10. 4. So this would be a smaller one. 4. Again, I want to find out whether these guys are aggressive or not. So once again, we're going to be using the Oracle. Are these guys aggressive or are they willing to talk? So are they aggressive? A 3. No. They are also friendly. Well, I mean, they're not aggressive. They may not be friendly, but they're not aggressive. Try and talk. So this is again, it's a presence manipulation roll. I think that's the correct combination of stat and skill, of which Frank has neither. His presence is 2, so he needs an 8+. Again, Frank not so good with the words. They politely tell him to, sod off, go away, don't want to talk to you. What's the matter with you? Where's all your clothes? But again, we may have better luck if I send another survivor. Like I say, I think Safia may have the best chance. She's got manipulation. She's got a presence of 3. I mean, so does Baron McLean, but Baron McLean's a bit of a bruiser. He's one of the survivors that gets more hit points and does more damage. So I think I'll probably send Safia tomorrow. Maybe she can talk to them, but we know that there is 2 other shelters here. Always nice to know if there's a shelter that I can run to. Okay, so that is the second action and the second event. What do we do now? Now, okay, if we want to stay in the tile, roll a d10. Okay, here's the thing. I said last time that talking to the guys in the shelter took about half an hour. So, according to this, it is now 6 o'clock. I need to get back to the shelter before it gets too late in case there's a horde attack. So it's currently 6, 7, 8. That's close. Over here in Southeast Asia, I think the sun goes down at about 7:30. So that's cutting it a bit close. I might have time to do an event and an action here. Would I have time? Because I really need to hunt for food. Yeah, I'm going to have to try and hunt for food, I think, one more time. So what I'm going to do is move back into that tile there. So we're traveling. Takes an hour. So now it's 7 o'clock. I am going to try and hunt for food one last time. Hunt for food. Hunt for food. Mind survival. Where are you, Frank? Mind, no survival. So I need a 7+. Come on. Yay! Okay, I succeeded. How much food do we get? Now we've got 4 plus 2 from the water collector. So that's 6. I need 4 or more. No. Should I re-roll? I think, okay. I'm considering using another willpower to re-roll. Because what I'm planning is maybe tomorrow I'm sending out another survivor. I'm sending out Sophia. So that means that he could rest and get back some of these points. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-roll that. So my willpower is now 5. Not good if I start getting insanity markers. Yeah, I get disadvantages when I get 3 markers. I die when I get 5 markers. So willpower, you've got to be very careful. But I'm going to re-roll that dice. 1's not going to be enough. I need at least 4. Come on. 10. That's better. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, I can only carry 10 in my backpack. So I'm going to have to leave some of it behind. All right, so we've got all the food we need. Yay! We don't starve for another day. So we hunted for food. We succeeded and we got 10 food, and that takes an hour. Oh dear, yeah. Oh, I should have got back. So, oh dearie dear. So that is now making it 8 o'clock. I've got to get back. So 8 o'clock, we're now, oh no, we've got the event, haven't we? Oops. All right, what's going to happen with the event? Got enough food now, at least. But what event is going to happen? A 6. You see from afar a group of cultists performing a ritual. Make a mind check, and in case of success, you find out how to stop it. Okay, so it doesn't tell me how many cultists. Make a mind check. In case of success, you figure out how to stop it. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just going to write this down in the journal. All right, let's see if we can figure out how to stop it anyway. Then I'll make a decision whether I want to or not, because I'm a little bit worried about the time. So it is a mind check. My mind is 3, so I need a 7+. I get an 8, so I do know how to stop it. But do I want to take the time and actually do that? Because like I say, it's 8 o'clock already. All right, so let's have a think. How to prevent it? How to stop it? Maybe they have some kind of icon, or maybe some kind of like desecrated statue or something that they are doing their whole ritual dance around. And maybe this icon, this cursed icon, is some source of power. And maybe I figured out, or maybe I'm thinking that if I can destroy the icon, I can stop the ritual. Now this might be something that I can do quickly, maybe by shooting the icon or the idol. If I can succeed in shooting the shot, maybe I can break the idol, and that would stop the ritual that they're doing. Because like I say, if I don't stop it, this could come back and bite me. Maybe there's something that they're summoning or something, or some kind of disease they're creating. So we succeed in the mind check. So we have to destroy the idol to prevent ritual. So that is going to be a body ranged combat roll. I don't think I'm going to have any advantages or disadvantages. It's going to be a small target. There's people dancing around it, so maybe that would make it a disadvantage, maybe. I think because of the size of the idol and the fact that there's people dancing around it, it's going to make the shot more difficult. So I think there would be a disadvantage. So we are going to be rolling 2 dice. I'm going to be taking the lowest. I'm going to be using body and ranged combat. So I've got a +6 to the roll. And this is to try and shoot the idol, to break the idol and make that ritual stop. Right, here we go. Ready? I've got to take the lowest, which is a little bit concerning. Lowest is 4, so I have to take the 4. +4 +2 is 10! We did it! We did the shot. No power bonus, no amazing shot, but we did it. So what I will say is, I shoot the idol, which is warping weirdly, thanks to the ritual that these cultists are doing. And with the shot, it smashes into pieces, throwing this warp stuff everywhere. The cultists get very disorientated, and instead of getting angry, they actually get very sort of sad, and they fall to the ground crying because maybe they're worried that something's going to happen to them. And I need to get out of here. I need to run away. So we succeeded in the shot. We broke the ritual. Yay! I'll just put a yay here because we did it. So that was the event here. I have enough food. Now I can actually get back to my shelter. So we go back to our shelter. That's going to take another hour. So that was at 8, say 30 minutes for the shot. And then another hour. Oh God. So we get back at 9:30. Right. So we're back at the shelter. It's 9:30. It's dark. I didn't want to really stay out that late, but I needed to get that food. I needed to do that one more hunt, that one more action. All right, so we have completed our hunt. We've done a few actions. We've had a few events. We've got 2 shelters that we need to investigate a little bit further, but I think I'll send one of the other survivors, one of the survivors who can actually talk and who people like, not Frank. And we've got one more thing to do before we finish the day, the night. And that is to check if there is a horde attack. Again, I'm worried about this. Because once a night you have to roll a d10. On a 1 or 2, a horde discovers your shelter and attacks. Think Walking Dead. Yeah, they find out where you are and masses of them come and attack you. They swamp you. In the demo, there are only 2 types of horde to roll for. In the final game, there's going to be a lot more. You can either have 50 plus 5d10 undead, or 30 plus 2d10 psychos. Neither of which sounds very appealing and could possibly destroy our shelter. So I'm just going to hope that I don't roll a 1 or 2. Now, for a horde attack, if it does happen, and I'm going to say this before I make the roll, in the original Portuguese game, basically you would be rolling each character individually and all this sort of stuff. It makes for quite a long, involved little action. But I think there are ways of doing it quicker. Again, we'll have to see in the final rulebook how it's actually going to work. But yeah, I'll if we do get a horde attack, what I'll probably do is just maybe assume that everything hits and then just total up the damage. Once the horde gets into the compound, in other words, once the bonk bonk bonk, once the defense has been overrun, they do enough damage to take down the defense, then we will go to the individual tests, the rolls of the dice and everything else. But I think as they approach the shelter, I'm just going to assume that everybody hits and everything. Otherwise, we'll be rolling dice for ages. But that's only if we get a horde attack. I'm crossing me fingers and hoping that we ain't going to get a horde attack. Right. So on a 1 or 2, we get a horde attack. We get a 7. Okay, thank goodness for that. Now, so we are safe for tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to send out another survivor to go and investigate those shelters. I'm going to communicate with them, see if we can work out some trade, some kind of compact to sort of help each other in case their shelters get overrun. Haven't lost any health. We've got 10 food. I have 10 survivors. Now the water collector generates 2. So as well as the 10 that I'm bringing back, I can only carry 10 because of my backpack. We're going to have 2 left over because of the water collector. So nobody gets hunger markers, which is a good thing. And we have 2 survivors. We have 2 spare food for tomorrow. Right, now this is how the game is normally played. You move from tile to tile, do whatever actions you want, check for events, check for encounters, and then repeat and rinse and repeat. And then at some point you're going to want to go back to the shelter and check every night whether there is a horde attack. And that's how the game basically works. But you need to, You need to manipulate the encounters and the events to create your story and to see what happens. See, with this example that I've just done here, in this one day, we've done that introductory scenario. We've overcome the psychos, the crazed cultist, and we found that hospital shelter. I've also gone out and found another 2 shelters that could become allies. They could choose not to. They could choose to just stay by themselves. But I did roll on the Oracle, and both of them are non-aggressive at this time. So it's definitely something that stories can grow from. Stories can evolve. And like I say, in this game, in this campaign, the next day I would send out, where is it? Safia. So what I would do is I would maybe update her stats a little bit in terms of equipment and send her out to talk to these shelters. Oh, and also to find food. Right, that is how to play the normal game. Like I say, the introduction scenario is not normal for the game. It's more along these lines where you do the traveling actions, events, etc. and you generate the story around these. And I like it. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the final game will bring us. From what I've seen, like I say, I did see a draft copy of the English version, but there will be a lot of changes from what I've had a chance to look at, but it does look really good. I had a great time with Vampire Alone in the Darkness, and I know that I'm going to have a great time with this. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good idea about how the game's going to be playing. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch part 1, where we go through the rules in a bit more detail. But guys, thank you once again for watching. Please check out my channel. There's plenty of other videos there. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. Would really appreciate that. It does help. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. Give me some stories of what happened to you when you played this demo. And don't forget, the crowdfunding for the game, I think, finishes on 28th of April, I think. But check the Game Found page. Back it if you would like to. It does look like a promising investment. It does look like something that's going to be good. Yeah. So guys, thank you very much. Stay safe. Take care. Play more games. Cheers.